Thank you very much for that. Yeah, that was really great. I'm not sure if everyone heard, but I mean, for me, it was very, very, very good to hear. So thank you so much for putting that together for us. That was really wonderful. I'm not sure if Tayo's system is working correctly yet. Let's give him a check to see if his system is working. Tayo, can you hear us? Hello, Tayo, can you hear us? We can't hear you. If you're talking on mute. Can you try again? We can't hear you. Okay, so we already behind schedule, you know. But oh yes, we can hear you.
You can now.
The sound is breaking. Okay, so it's not very clear. Yeah.
You're listening to Stephen. You're listening to Stephen. That is not.
That's not Tayo. Oh.
Yeah, that's Stephen.
Yeah, I can hear you, Stephen, but not Tayo. Okay, so while we're waiting for Tayo to sort out the sound, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Oh, you can hear me.
Okay.
All right. Okay, excellent. All right, excellent. So I think Stephen kicked off the intro today with a wonderful number for Do the Dream. He sang the Do the Dream anthem, which he put together, and he did a very good job at that. I'm not sure if everyone heard that as well, but it was good. But because we're running behind schedule, I think we'll kick off with the one of the guest speaker, Olumide Ajiginni. Sorry, we're already behind time on you. We're supposed to start you off at 2 o'clock, but please bear with us. Technology has a funny way of doing things. So I'll go quiet now and allow you to do us justice. Thank you.
Okay. So, good day, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, right over here. I'm here in Chicago and in the city of God. So, I want to appreciate everybody, listen to me right now. I want to welcome you to International Youth Day Conference 2020, organized by DoTheDream. So today I'm going to be speaking on the beauty of relationship towards global action. But before I start, I want to appreciate all the panelists. I want to appreciate you for, for what you're going to do today. And I want to appreciate the panelists, that spoke yesterday. They did amazing job. I really appreciate you. So today, let's start. It's going to be an amazing time, in the presence of God. And I believe God is going to impact all the youths, globally. I'm going to start by just sharing a story with you, which is very, very important. When I was in college in Nigeria, I was in final year and I was about to do my, project, in college. When you're in final year, you have to do a project. And at the end of the day, something happened, something happened to my parents and they couldn't sponsor me. When you want to do your project, it costs a lot of money. But thank God for somebody in my life, my friend, Coyote. I call Coyote, I say, Coyote, it is what is going on, I'm in school, I'm in my final year, and I'm about to do my project, and I need so amount of money to do the project. I said, Olu, don't worry, I will send it to you. And what happened? My friend sent me the exact amount I needed, to finish my school project. He gave me that money. And when he gave me that money, I was able to do my project, defended my project, and I was able to graduate from college. Why am I sharing this story? Because today I'm going to be talking about the beauty of relationship, towards youth's, engagement and towards, global action. So in life, we all need somebody in life. And let me tell you something. Something is very, very important. God gave us two things that is very, very important to us in life. Number one, the time. Your time is one of the most asset that God gave you. The most important asset that you have in life is your time. And after your time is the relationship that you formed around you. And it's very, very important for us to value and to appreciate those relationships. So today I'm going to talk about the beauty of relationship. I'm going to start with, in life, we need 4 types of relationship in our life. Number one, we need to have a relationship with God, which is our creator. Without him, you are nothing. It's just like when you buy anything from the store, whether you buy a phone or you buy a car or you buy anything, you buy a TV, it comes with the owner's manual. So that means that the owner or the manufacturer has something in mind, what they want to use that thing for. And so that means that for you to be successful in life, you need to have a relationship with God, with your creator. And number 2, somebody in that relationship is yourself. You need to be able to take yourself out on a date. Take your spirit, your soul, your body out on a date. Because if you don't understand yourself, you'll not be able to understand other people in life. But the Bible says, love God with all your heart and love, your neighbor as you love yourself. So if you don't love yourself, you can't love your neighbor. The next thing you need to do is that after a relationship with God, which is the author, which is the manufacturer has the owner's manual. So when you buy anything, the manufacturer has the owner's manual. So you have to go to the owner's manual to check, how do I use this phone? How do I use this laptop? How do I drive this car? What do I need to know about this car? So you need to connect first with the owner. After that, you need to connect with yourself. It's very, very important. The reason why we have problems, the reason why we have global pandemic, the reason why we have problem with our youth now, the reason why we have problem all around the world is because we don't even understand ourselves. And when you don't understand yourself, how do you understand people around you? You need to take yourself on a date. First of all, you need to connect with your spirit. There is an order. Your spirit first, your soul second, and your body last. normally in the psychological world, they believe that you have a spirit. You're a spirit. No, you have a soul and you live in a body. And so you need to be able to connect and take each and every one of your member out. Take your spirit out on a date, romance your spirit, take your soul out on a date, understand what is your will, your mind, and your emotion, and take your body out on a date. Why do you need to take your body out on a date? Because your body is your carrier. When you have a new car, you can use that car for 10 years or you can use it for 1 year based on the way you maintain the car. You must be able to maintain your body because your body is one that will carry you throughout this lifetime. And if you misuse or if you don't maintain your body very well, what you're supposed to do for 100 years, you end up doing it for 10 years. And that's why we see what is going on nowadays, where we have a crisis nowadays, with our youth, even with everybody. People dying young, people injecting stuff that they're not supposed to inject in their body because they did not understand, they didn't have a relationship with their body, so they're just putting the wrong stuff in their body. You're supposed to sleep on time, eat on time, don't just put any poison into yourself. Now, after understanding yourself, then the next thing you have a relationship with is to have a relationship with people around you. People around you is very, very important. You cannot go anywhere in life without people. The next step you're going to take, the next position you're going to be, the next thing you're going to do, you need people to help you out. If you look into the Bible and if you look into this world, some people have Godfather, some people have different connections, and you need that in life. You must understand that you need to have a relationship with people. And you cannot have a relationship with people if you don't have a relationship with yourself. You need to understand people. You need to value every relationship. Every relationship you find yourself in life, you have to name that relationship. The reason why there's problem now is because the person that's supposed to be your friend, you're making that person your husband. The person that's supposed to be your boss, you're making them, you're treating them as your mate. The person that's supposed to be, your peers, you are making them your mentor. So you need to understand that relationship. And once you understand that relationship, you will understand people and connect with people. And the last thing that you should do is you have a relationship with your environment. It's very, very important. The reason why we have different stuff going on nowadays, global warming, we have pandemic, COVID-19, we have, killing everywhere because people doesn't understand how to have a relationship with themselves, with their environment. And what is your environment? Your environment is the place where you find yourself. As a husband, your environment is your home. As a pastor, your environment is maybe your church. As somebody that lives in a community, you live anywhere in the world, your environment is where you live. Your community is your environment. Your place of work, your position in life, whether you're the boss or you are the secretary or you are the driver or you are the CEO or you are an inventor, that is your environment. And you must be able to have an issue in the environment. The reason why we have crisis nowadays is because people doesn't understand their environment and there's a lot of violation. COVID-19 happened because we don't understand the environment. Global warming happened because we don't understand the environment. People in government, people in authority, the governor, the mayor, the president, the local government chairman, we have crises everywhere because they don't understand the environment. Your environment is where you're supposed to cultivate and till your environment. Anywhere you find yourself, you're supposed to find that place. You're supposed to make that place a better place when you are living. You're supposed to impact your environment. You're supposed to make your environment a better place. If you happen to be a husband, you're supposed to make your home a better place. If you happen to be a wife, you're supposed to make your home a better place. If you happen to be the boss, you're supposed to make your workplace a better place. If you happen to be the president, you're supposed to make your country, your nation a better place. And the issue is that you are just there for a short time. You're just there for a short period of time. You're not going to be there for life. You are there for a short time. And you must understand that somebody placed you there. Then once you have a relationship with all these people, God, your creator, 2, yourself, 3, people around you, 4, your environment, then you need to ask yourself this question. It's very, very important because when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. You need to ask yourself, why am I here? Why do I need to have a relationship with God? Why do I need to have a relationship, with myself? Why do I need to have a relationship, with people around me? And why do I need to have a relationship with my environment? And once you know that why, you need to ask yourself, what do I need to do with the why that I know? What do I need to do with this why? As the chairman of local government, why am I here? I'm here to serve people. Then what do I need to do to serve the people? Then once you know your what, how do I serve my people in the right way? Then after knowing your what, then ask yourself the question, when? When do I need to start? Because a lot of times is that the reason why we have problem is because people only understand the right timing. You can do the right thing, in the wrong time. You can do the right thing in the wrong way. It's not everything that you do, you're supposed to do. Sometimes what you're supposed to do in the morning, you don't do it in the evening. What you're supposed to do in the evening, you don't do it at night. So you must understand what you need to do and do it at the right time. Then the next thing is where you need to understand your destination. It's very, very important. And in wrapping up, I'm just going to let us know that what is relationship? Relationship is a ship that will take you to your destiny. Relationship is a ship that will take you to your destination. And I want to encourage the youth that are listening to me nowadays, because today I'm talking about, the beauty of relationship towards global action. And I want to encourage the youth. First of all, I want to say, I want to apologize on behalf of us, on behalf of the nation, on behalf of the country, on behalf of the state, on behalf of the community, that we failed you because we've not given you a right legacy for you to follow. But after apologizing to you, I want to tell you that, don't let anybody look down on you. You are wonderfully and fearfully made. And don't be scared of this pandemic. You are fashioned, you are created for such a time like this. You are the source of our joy. You are the source of our beauty. You are the change that we need. And let me tell you, you can make anything happen if you believe in yourself. It's very, very important as the youth of a generation. It's very important for us to believe in ourselves, to help us to believe that, you are wonderfully and fearfully made. I was speaking in a place, I was talking somewhere, whether yesterday or the day before yesterday, and I was telling that person that I don't care, your background, where you came from. You may be born out of wedlock. You may be born out of whether wedlock or padlock or outlock. I told that person that we don't have illegitimate child. We only have illegitimate parents. And you need to understand that you are in this, God made you for this COVID-19, for this pandemic. You need to be proud of yourself. You need to know that, I am fashioned for this. I am designed for this. I am made for this. This is my time to shine. This is my time to thrive. This is my time to do what God has called me to do, because the people that organize this program is called Do the Dream. There is a dream that God has given to you. Everybody is created for a purpose. And your purpose is where you find yourself. It's purpose where you find yourself and you thrive in your purpose. So how can you do the dream? You can do the dream in just number one, connecting with God. Asking God to give you the plan for your life, or connecting with your creator. You can do the dream by what? Understanding yourself. Don't let anybody look down on you. Don't let anybody tell you what you are not. You are wonderfully and fearfully made. And number three, you can do the dream when you surround yourself with the people of right mind, people of like mind. You can do the dream, by understanding your environment. Your environment is very, very important to you. It doesn't matter where you were born, whether you are born in Nigeria, you are born in Finland, you are born in US, you are born anywhere. God knows that is the blessed place for you to be born. And you need to embrace that. And need to embrace yourself. And somebody talked to me about what is going on with the youth of nowadays. They are allowing pressure, to change their mindset. And I tell that person that, pressure is not pressure. Pressure is just what you make pressure to be. The Bible talks about when you put a goat inside a fire, the issue is that when goat pass through fire, the goat come out shining. And so when you go through pressure, it's supposed to make you a better person. In this pandemic, you're supposed to become better for yourself. And that is what you're supposed to do. Something happened in the Bible. It was a chaos time. It was a time of problem. It was a time that a genocide is about to be committed. And Esther's uncle went to him and said, Esther, you need to go and talk to the king, or else everybody in your generation is going to be destroyed. And Esther was complaining, and the uncle said, let me tell you, you are put in that place for such a time like this. And if you don't do that, God will raise somebody else. So I want to encourage all the youth that is listening to me right now, that you are made by God. You are not a mistake. God made you, God fashioned you, and God ordains you to be here right now. And there's something special about you. If you look at your fingerprint is in from my fingerprint. Roughly, we have 7 billion people all over the world. And each and every one of us, we have a different fingerprints. My fingerprint is not like your fingerprint. So don't be a copycat. Be original. Be yourself. Be yourself. Don't be a copycat, because when you be a copycat, you'll be best at copying somebody else. But the issue is that there's something important about you. There's something special about you. You are fashioned by God to change this world. You are fashioned by God to do the dream that only you can do. Nobody can do that dream, and the whole world is waiting for you to do that dream. The whole world is waiting for you to make a transformation in this world. The whole world is waiting for you to cause a global action. There is an action that the world is waiting for. The whole world is still waiting for the next, the next Microsoft guru. The whole world is waiting for the next Steve Jobs. The whole world is waiting for the next Mark Zuckerberg. The whole world is still waiting for, for the next person that will create Tesla, SpaceX. The world is waiting for you. There is something inside of you that is unique to you. So I want to encourage you this morning that no matter what you are going through, you can do the dream. When you believe in yourself and you surround yourself with the right relationship and you understand your environment. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Olumide, for your wonderful presentation. This is very, very inspirational. I kind of like some of the things you said about the 3 ways that you can do the dream. That really caught my attention. You can do the dream by connecting with God. You can do the dream by understanding yourself, and you can do the dream by understanding your environment. And then there was something else you said about pressure, that we make pressure what it is to us, and you sort of liken that to gold being refined through fire to become the precious metal that it is. And so pressure should be seen as we're going through a process that refines us and makes us better. And I think it's a very important point, for some of our youths or all of our youths out there. Sometimes we will always be faced with challenges. Sometimes it could be the environment. But once you have an understanding of who you are and what your environment is all about and what you're coming up against, and you're able to sort of remain resilient to go through that, then you end up becoming a better version of yourself, not a better version of someone else by trying to copy, other people. And I think it's quite important for some of our youths, or all of our youths, for those who don't completely know who they are today, who don't have an understanding of who they are and who they are made to become. So thank you so very much for that wonderful putting that wonderful speech together. I'm sure there'll be lots of people who will be able to benefit from that as well. Although we're running very short on time because of our technical glitch, I would like to move very quickly on to DeWitt, who hopefully will be able to talk to us about some of this technical glitch as well. DeWitt will be talking to us about using technology for gains and profits. Thank you very much, DeWitt.
Thank you very much, Chair. It's an honor to be part of this forum and part of the panel with the messages that went out yesterday and today. It is clear that I've got a very high mark set for me. Now, there's a concept about the pandemic that I haven't heard anybody speak about, and that is transformation. We've got a saying that don't let a good pandemic go to waste. And from an information technology worldwide perspective, the pandemic didn't go to waste. There was a study done, it was published last week, that showed that the adoption of technology in the last 3 months were equal to the adoption of technology in the last 10 years, which causes a bit of a misnomer or a problem between the people that have technology available and those who don't have technology available. So I'm just going to give you some of the world statistics on availability and access to the internet, just to give a perception of what it is that we are facing from a technology challenge worldwide, and also, of course, with a technology challenge with the youth. The world internet access is at average at 58%, and specifically Africa is at 42%, which is close to the world average. But in Africa, only 24% of youth have access to the internet, and that 24% is mostly male in average to higher income brackets. There's a rather big lack of access to technology for women, and having had Women's Day on Sunday, we can imagine that this should be quite high on the agenda of different governments. The Europe average is 87%, North America 90%, and Latin America 71%. Now there are barriers that are causing these problems, and I'm just quickly going to allude to the barriers. The first one is, of course, infrastructure availability. It is rather expensive to get infrastructure in the ground and in the air, in order to, in radio waves, in order to do this connection. And I'm thinking of SpaceX, the low Earth orbit satellites that they are busy putting up. It's going to take a couple of years before the unserviced areas of the world are reached through that medium. And then specifically in Africa and South Africa, there's quite a huge attempt to get fiber optics rolled out as quickly as possible. But the more money that goes into the infrastructure, the more expensive the access becomes, and especially on last mile access. Now, last mile is between you and the nearest tower, or between you and the nearest point of presence. So infrastructure availability is an issue. Cost of access. Africa has got the highest cost of access in the world, and we are the least. We've got the least amount of infrastructure available. So there's a complete disconnect in terms of the cost of getting infrastructure in the ground. It has to be paid off, and that's chasing up the cost of access. Then knowledge and understanding of technology. There was a project run by a few individuals in our Gauteng province that took the project was to make data available or information available via cell phones to expectant mothers from conception until 3 years after birth of the child. And they found that less than 30% of the mothers had access to smartphones, which meant they had to register their access on a friend's smartphone. So that is quite an issue. The availability of infrastructure to achieve this is quite an issue at the moment in Africa-wide. And then in Manhattan, in the US, I heard somebody complain the other day that they can't get cell phone signal in a specific area. So we mustn't think because we are in Africa, we are better off than most other areas in the world. Or worse off than most other areas of the world. Every area's got their challenges. There's a place in the Western Cape where I stay in South Africa, where a satellite can't reach, and we've got a base station that has to run up to a tower, and then from the tower we can connect to the satellite. So there are demographic and geographic challenges in order to get infrastructure and connectivity out, which means if we can't get the connectivity out, we can't get the education out. And then in an assessment that was done by United Nations, they found that there are class and gender discrimination, and specifically with gender discrimination, they were talking about the people educating themselves over the internet, accessing information over the internet. They say the study showed that young women, or the youth ladies, with their responsibilities at home, don't have as much time available to access the internet as young males. So there's still a disconnect with that. And then, of course, there's the differences between what's currently available in the developed areas of the world and the underdeveloped areas of the world. If we just look at education that spoke about yesterday, in South Africa with the pandemic, and I can't speak of any other areas, most of the schools that have children that can afford internet access moved to distance education. So there was a huge transformation in the last couple of days. Now, in terms of opportunity, one of our IT companies announced that they will not bring their personnel back on site. So they're going to sell off their buildings. They're going to run the company completely without buildings. And they've got more than 2,500 employees. And they have to restructure the contracts of the employees in order to do that. Now, restructuring includes making available the technology the employee needs, but also instead of having a time target to spend on projects and stuff like that, they get targets. If you make your target, the rest of the time is yours. So under the new contract, they won't even get leave. So it's a story of personal time management. But in terms of technology and what's arising for the future areas, short to medium term, in terms of technology that we need to look at for disruption and focus areas in terms of business, the focus areas are moving very strongly to online retail and knowledge share. Now, online retail, with this thing that when you move into a shop, they have to spray your hands. People are less likely to move into shops, and they are more likely to buy online. My son has already moved completely to buying online, except for food. He still goes into a shop to buy food. There will be a bigger focus on customer relationship management. There's already a very strong focus on it, but there's a bigger focus. And then information and data analysis, trend analysis, stuff like that. That's becoming quite a occupation to have on a worldwide scale, because data tells a story. The moment you analyze it, data tells a story. Somebody is interested in the story, and the person that's interested is going to pay for it. And then development and advisory services, environmental development and sustainability. There's a huge focus worldwide on spatial and environmental sustainability, which means the information must become available. And information becomes available through the through measurements, through studies and things like that. So it's an area where I'm expecting a rather big growth in the student rate, or the number of students that are interested in it. But just studying the internet also brings environmental breakthroughs or agricultural breakthroughs. There was a student, an African student, he was 16 years old, that found that if you pierce the seed of corn, before you plant it, you've got a bigger crop. And he got everything to come to that deduction of the internet. Now, if you, in last week in the news, There was a pharmaceutical company that did a data analysis on some of their previous studies that announced that in their old studies they actually identified a new antibiotic that can be used, and it would not have been picked up by the human eye. And then my personal beef at the moment, if a young person or a youth ask me what they should go into in terms of information technology, one of my first responses is data security, network security, and infrastructure development. Data security is exploding. The number of phishing attacks that took place over the past 3 months, and the ransomware attacks that most of us know about, is really putting this in data security up on a mast somewhere. It has to be visible, the incidents has to be visible, and there's a huge opportunity to study towards it, which also includes your forensic side to do the forensic investigations, and audit side in order to audit security and security measures implemented within companies. And then in terms of technology trends that we should consider, geographical information systems, artificial intelligence, robotics, these are all things that are being broadcasted and being talked about worldwide at the moment. Augmented reality and Internet of Things, or interconnected systems, systems that eventually teach themselves. Different protocols available for that. So there's many technology opportunities, but what I want to say at this point is IT is not a silver bullet. Business that is run well requires IT to make it run better. So it will improve processes and things like that. But IT as a silver bullet is the Mark Zuckerberg story. You will find that in about 10 to 15% of success stories. The rest is there was a proper business conducted that started to use technology and then became a success story. So don't look at IT as a silver bullet to bring in this huge amount of money. It's actually the business and the business plan that becomes the success story. In terms of skills requirements, and I'm going to go into a direction here that I'm sure that is not expected. Skills requirements, you need to know yourself, you need to know your risk profile, what motivates you, how far you're willing to push yourself, what blows your water, what's the things that makes you passionate, and whatever you are passionate for is most likely the thing in which you're going to invest most of your time, and that is the business. Whether you are part of somebody else's business, find out what's the passion and work with the passion. My passion is equipping people and helping people and seeing them develop. That's where my passion lies. So why am I in information technology? That's my passion. I do sessions like this at least 4 or 5 times a year. So I put a lot of research and study into it so that I can go to the forums and do the equipping and help them. In terms of skills requirements, we need to look at lifelong learning. Never stop learning, never stop reading. I read between half an hour and 2 hours per day. Never stop learning. And find out what your passion area is and see if there is a technology study area available on the internet that you can connect with and start studying in that direction. If you can't afford the money but you've got internet access, there are more than enough organizations and universities that allows you to do their free courses. So get into something, start somewhere. It takes years and years and years to build a success. Don't expect to do it overnight, and don't expect to ever give up. don't give up. Just stick it out, stick with your dream. It took me nearly 20 years before the door opened for me to properly walk into strategy and governance. So just stick it out, stick it out. That's all I can say to you at the moment. Build networks, make sure that you know how to do risk management and project management and be able to organize yourself. Where do you start? In terms of self-study, you go and read about the grounded theory. When you learn something new, implement it, test it, learn the next thing, implement it, test it, learn the next thing, learn from experience, learn from your network, connect with people that's done it before, identify somebody that you see as a success story and start harassing them until they allow you to just come in under their wing and help you develop. And I have to come back to what my various speakers said yesterday, go and volunteer somewhere. If you have internet access, there are so many companies in India that does programming. See if you can volunteer on one of their programs in exchange for them teaching you how to do coding, something like that. You don't have to, in today's world, you don't have to be geographically where you work, and you don't have to be geographically where you study and where you add value. So see what's available on the internet in terms of your passion. And then a last and final word from my side. There are three things that the youth should advocate for. The first one is internet access as a basic service. It must become available as a basic service, such as water and electricity and so on. We must contend for lowering data costs, and we must contend for a controlled deregulation of the radio spectrum. Why I say controlled, you can't just throw it open. But the less companies that have access to the radio spectrum, the higher the cost of us accessing the radio spectrum will be. So your cell phone makes use of a controlled radio spectrum. But if you just put up a Wi-Fi between two buildings, that is uncontrolled space, so that's highly contended space. And it goes to a place where the contention becomes so high between different suppliers of this that your service starts to downgrade. And we are finding that increasingly in the environment that we live. So what is my final message to the youth? Start reading and never stop reading. Start what you read, put it into practice, and while you're putting it into practice, find information technology mechanisms that can help you to do what you do best. Be yourself. Don't try and be somebody else. Don't just be yourself. So discover who you are, how you function, and what your passions are, and then take it from there. Thank you very much. That's all from me.
Wow, thank you so much, Dewitt. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much, Dewitt. That's a wonderful presentation from Dewitt Coetzee. And it's never too late to do the right thing. And that's a wonderful presentation from a public servant in South Africa, a public servant in the Republic of South Africa who works with Dreskin Local Municipal in Pearl, Western Cape Town. A personality who is responsible for strategy and corporate governance of information and communication in technology. Dewitt is in his public service career, he has been in public service career for over 30 years, and he held various information and communication technology related positions ranging from technical support, specialist, technologist, ICT advisor, chief information officer, policy developer, and more recently, implementation and monitoring of South African public service, corporate governance of ICT framework, and specifically the Transmission municipality. A speaker at various events, local and international. I want to say thank you for that beautiful presentation. Awesome, and thank you for that wonderful session. And the next speaker we have now is the wonderful personality, Teni Eleoramo. Are you here, sir? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, and over to you. If you are here, can we hear from you?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Pleasure to meet everybody. Am I live?
Thank you so much.
Tayo, can you see me?
I can see you loud and clear, but hold on, I would like to read your profile to everyone here, sir. Thank you so much. Teni Eleoramo is the founder and group managing director of Coart Investment Group, a wholly owned Nigeria holdings company formed in 2004 with interest in new city development, mining, agriculture, and energy. It was recently named the Global 100 Most Influential Persons of African Descent under 40 years of age in business and entrepreneurship. Teni is champion and the most ambitious, affordable housing new city development in Africa as the project development director of the Land of Honey City Development Company. This special purpose entity is transforming 900 hectares of land into the most vibrant and well-planned city in Nigeria, with 15,000 affordable housing units. With 15,000 affordable housing units. Other notable ongoing projects and investment include the Oro Tantalite Mining and Beneficial Project under the auspices of Coart Company, Coart Mining Limited. I'd like to stop there because I have a lot of things there. Ladies and gentlemen, over to you, sir. Thank you, and welcome to Do the Dream International Youth Conference 2020. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Tayo. I was hoping you were not going to read all those long stuff, but thank you very much for the compliment. It's really a privilege and an honor to speak on this platform. I think apart from Tony, I've not, and Tayo, I don't think I've met any, but I'm Teni Eleoramo, as Tayo rightly said, and I'm a social entrepreneur operating out of Abuja in Nigeria. I'll delve straight into the topic we have for today, which is the big growth and journey to global actions. Right? It's a very savvy topic. You know, the English is very big. You know, and it takes a lot of dissecting to be able to do justice to that topic. You know, but I think it's very relevant. Absolutely very relevant, bearing in mind what we've all been through this year. I think everybody has set aside their ambition in parentheses this year, and everybody has been trying to survive. It's either you've been trying to survive financially, you've been trying to survive health-wise, you've been trying to survive psychologically, right? But we are grateful to God that we are all here. And I would like to think that discussing on this topic would be pro forma, looking forward and looking at the positives and see how we can chart a path post-COVID-19, and also obviously bearing in mind the global disruptions that has happened macroeconomically, and also the political economy, bearing in mind the US elections coming up, and different moving pieces all over the whole place. Once again, thank you very much, Tayo, and let's go straight into the topic. Now, the big growth journey to global actions. I would like to think that looking at this topic and looking at a youth forum like this, right, would be looking at the journey over the next 5 to 10 years and critically analyzing what will be the lever points and what are the sectors that I feel, in my humble opinion, will play a significant role in shaping global business and shaping global politics. And it's also to further delve into and look into how, as young people or as middle-aged people, we can tap and access this opportunity and get a first mover's advantage. The first thing I would like to discuss will be the fourth industrial revolution. The second thing would be artificial intelligence and machine learning. And obviously the third thing I'm going to be discussing will be healthcare. I think these three sectors are going to be news bearers, right, over the next 10, 15 to 20 years, right? And the reason being that generalist economic theories have somewhat changed over the last 5 years. We see companies, we see valuation techniques are different from what we traditionally know as valuation companies. We see big companies with large assets, zero liquidity. We see companies with zero assets, but they are valued at trillions of dollars or hundreds of billions of dollars. So things are changing, and it's where the world is at the moment, right? And it's either we shape into form or we get shaped out. We are looking at global disruptions with retail, looking at Amazon, we are looking at Google, we're looking at Microsoft, we're looking at all these companies, and you begin to ask yourself, how did the company get so rich? How did the company get so innovative, right? How did the company get here? Can we still have a company like this in the next 5 to 10 years? And if you are to have a company like this in the next 5 to 10 years, what are the things I need to do, right, to be well positioned, right, in this space? Now, I don't have a magic wand, right? I don't have a crystal ball, right? But I think the Amazons of the next 10 to 15 years, the Google of the next 15 to 20 years, the Microsoft of the next 15 years, are companies that are able to chart a course for themselves, right, within the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics space, right? Because we are beginning to see an increase in amount of feasibility, usage, right? Most of it, even your WhatsApp now is, you can see a bit of machine learning and adaptive intelligence there, and buying your tickets, the way you do things have changed. Even this portal we are on, Zoom, right, is, people were not using Zoom 2 years ago. Who could ever think that we would have weddings on Zoom? Who could ever think we would have 40th birthdays on Zoom, right? And as a matter of fact, if you are calling me for a meeting now, I'm saying to myself, are you okay? Get on Zoom, and let's do what we have to do and move on, right? For those of us still in Nigeria, it has definitely reduced traffic in Lagos. This is my first, I'm in Lagos as we speak. This is my first time in Lagos this year. And I'm beginning to get excited to move around because the traffic is actually not as bad. So I was beginning to ask myself, what has happened? And the reality on ground is everybody's on Zoom. Everybody is doing their meetings on Zoom. Nobody needs to. So you need to understand that things are changing and you need to get yourself prepared for the change ahead. Like I mentioned, I don't have a magic wand. I don't have a crystal ball. But I know those that will be parts and news bearers of this change are people that play in that space. Now, what will be the infrastructure? What will be the trade infrastructure for the new disruptions that would happen over the next 10 to 15 years? That's the substance behind that is what we call the fourth industrial revolution, right? So it's called the fourth industrial revolution because I think over the last, is it century or 1,000 years, we've had three industrial revolutions. So typically, the way the cycle works is you move from industrial to technology to industrial to technology. So over the last 20 years, we have seen the dot-com era, right? Companies have gone up and down. Everything has been IT. Right now, we are moving into a pseudo-technological era, but it has a foundation and an infrastructure, which is the fourth industrial revolution. So you'll be seeing more of robots, more of robotics, and all these equipment will need a different kind of industry to provide infrastructure for it. For example, we are beginning to see a lot of traction in the mining space. This is a sector I play in. A lot of international investors are beginning to look into that space because apparently Tesla, with Elon Musk, with his global ambition of going to space, batteries, and all those things, he basically wants to buy out the nickel in the world, right? Microsoft is also looking at lithium because lithium is a source of battery power, right? So you can see another industry is beginning to open up in that space. So we are beginning to see different metals and a different component of steel that will be used to produce cars, right? So if you are going to get supersonic cars, it's not the typical steel that you have in your Mercedes today. So this is another industry that is undermining and providing a foundation and an infrastructure for, right, what will be the global disruption in the next 10 to 15 years. So as young people, right, going back to the topic, journey to global access. Just a second. Journey to global actions. I think this is where we should look at. Now, as Nigerians, we have a lot of impediments, right? Because it seems like we've not even entered the third industrial revolution. Talk less of talking about the fourth industrial revolution. But I think as young people doing business or in the political economic space in Nigeria, I think our focus should be to see how we can drive innovation, right? And try and leverage on what the global actors, right, are doing, right? That's what I think would be a very good way to go about it. Now, obviously, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, healthcare, right? Those are huge topics, and I try to do about 150 to 200 pages of research every week on these topics, right? So I get myself all up to speed. I would recommend that for anybody as well, from articles to podcasts to books to journals, right? Get yourself all up to speed as your reading ideas begin to come, right? But definitely the global disruptors in the future, the Jeff Bezos of the world, the Eric Schmidt, the Sagi brothers, all those people, those that would exist in the next 15, 20 years are those that are able to find their place, right, in these sectors. Healthcare will play a very major role. Obviously, the amount of dollars that has gone into the awaited vaccine, right, of COVID-19 is pretty much obvious how the inelasticity in the demand of healthcare, right, is still a good business proposition anytime, any day. You know, we're looking at pharmaceuticals, we are looking at medical sciences, biomedical engineering, we are looking at gene stripping, and these sectors they're basically going to revolutionize humanity, right? I mean, you look at WhatsApp now, people don't call on mainline anymore. You prefer to do a WhatsApp call, right? On the WhatsApp call, you can do a video call. You can send your PDF. So you can literally be working all day and the only thing you are using is WhatsApp. So they've changed the way you live, right? You can literally be working more and be very busy and not leave your room. Why? Because you're on Zoom or you're on Microsoft Teams. So I think sectors that will change the way we live, right? Sectors that potentially have the ability to correct our direction as a race are things that would be very significant to global actions in the future. Well, that's my very limited knowledge on the topic. I would like to take questions. I don't know if I'm allowed to take questions, right? But I'm very, very open to any questions. If I can answer, I will. If I can't, I'll tell you I can't answer, right? But this is my opinion, and thumbs up to Tayo. Tayo, I appreciate what you're doing. It's been a long journey for you, and it's highly commendable to say the least. And I wish you God's blessings. And Mr. Rumir, pleasure to see you. You seem to be very compliant in your study. And over to you, Tayo, and I'm open for any question.
Thank you so much. That's a beautiful presentation. from the guru, the CEO himself. As the guru awesome presentation from the CEO himself. I believe we're going to take all the Q&A at the same time because we are compiling those Q&A. While we're waiting for the next thing, I would like to hand over to the president of DoTheDream, Olumide, to step in and do one or two things.
Okay, thank you very much, Tayo. I think, you know, Teni, you had a very interesting presentation, and I can see that the breadth, you know, the breadth of your research is actually very relevant at a time like this. And if we sort of bring in, you know, some of the things you've said and merge that with what DeWitt said and also what Olumide said, I personally believe, you know, this is the right time for a lot of wonderful things to be happening. This is the best time to adopt and adapt certain technologies that would help us, you know, to be able to move to the next level. And this is the best time for the youth to not just sit and fold their hands, but to sit and start to do thorough research on things that, you know, are more future inclined. The future is moving at a very fast pace, and technology, as DeWitt said previously, it's an enabler. So you can have a very good business, but with technology behind you, you know, that enables you to do so many things. Teni mentioned robotics, AI, as well as DeWitt. And one of the key things, you know, I understand from that is a question could pop up from the youths, because I've been to different seminars where, you know, technology, the current technology and future technology were discussed, you know, things like robotic processors, you know, and one of the things a lot of, I can hear some noise in the background. Looks like there's an echo. Can you hear me? Okay, and so one of the things, you know, that a lot of people ask when you go for events like this and talk about technology and what it can do, you know, is, are we going to lose our jobs in 5 years? Are we going to have jobs, you know, in 5 years, because technology seems to be taking over things, you know? But Teni said something. Today we've been exposed to new types of resources, you know, like lithium is a lithium that is being used for batteries now. We're moving towards more of electric cars. We're moving towards space traveling, you know, and there's an introduction of new types of technology, new types of machinery, new types of maintenance will be required for things like that, you know. And I believe the youth, if they're able to sort of start to grasp some of these concepts, then this is the best time for them to start looking at things that, you know, will help to maintain such transformation when it happens. You know, things that would help to provide a level of comfort, a cushion for them in future, you know, because if technology comes and takes away certain jobs, then it will create other jobs to maintain those jobs that have been taken away, you know. So my 2 cents or my key takeaway from all of this, if I sort of put everything together, is, one, we still need to be very resilient, just as Olumide said earlier. 2, just as DeWitt mentioned, we need to know ourselves, you know, understand our risk profile, and we need to find out those things that we're passionate about. And to sort of segue into Teni's conversation, there's a place for, you know, lifelong learning, and that sort of, you know, segue into what Teni said about, you know, the fact that he consumes a copious amount of information, research every week, and all these things are relevant not just for now but for the future. So I'll sort of encourage our youth, you know, those watching on Facebook, those here on Zoom, to start to think about what they can do to, you know, to continue to remain relevant now and relevant in the future, and to not give up in their pursuit, because the journey is always a long one, but the end of that journey is always a rewarding one. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Over to you. Thank you so much, Mr. President. And Stephen Sin, are you ready for us? Stephen, are you ready for us? Stephen Sin, are you ready for Do the Dream? I believe your network should be fine by now. Are you ready for the organization? We got great people waiting for your voice here now. Are you ready? While we're waiting, I can see 1 or 2 questions in the chat box. Okay, can see 1 or 2 questions in the chat box. Probably DeWitt has shared his email in the chat box. Okay, thank you. Over to you, Stephen. Over to you, Stephen. Over to you, Stephen.
Let's start every on the mission to make it. Give the Let's start every journey as a trash everybody on the mission to make it. We are.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got issue with
Sometimes for your glory.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It seems we've got to. Thank you so much. We have to stop Stevie now. The network is not really.
Every journey that's a friend, everybody going.
Thank you so much. Over to you. We'll move to the next thing on the program agenda, the Q&A session. We have one question on the chat box now. We have a question in the chat box. And I would like Mr. Rumire to facilitate that, please. The question on the chat box, while we get Do the Dream ambassadors prepare for the next session, please. Thank you.
Okay, so there are a few questions here. There's one. There's one from. I think there's one. There's one from Marian to Teni. So Teni, Marian asks, what roles do you see SMEs playing in the digital economy?
SME by definition is small and medium enterprise, right? And in the digital economy, small and medium, right, is relative. What I see the role they're playing, it's divided into two parts: goods or services. So if you're an SME, you're either delivering goods or you're delivering services. Now, services looks like it's going to be more relevant, right, to the digital economy, right, because it's digital, right? So it's more intangible, but obviously there's still a small component of goods and services like maybe phones, earphones, different stuffs. Now, I think the role that SMEs are going to be playing in the digital economy is strictly more like innovation. It's more going to be how to do what is currently being done in a better way, in a more efficient way, at cheaper cost, finding new ways around the already existing digital platforms, right? For example, there's this tool now, there's an API tool now on WhatsApp where you can, so it's like a product that has the WhatsApp portal as its infrastructure, right? So I think that's the role I see SMEs playing in the digital economy. Now, as part of the goods that will be required, for example, for the selfless cars, for the robots, in China now, I hear a large number of restaurants, are operated by robots. So you could see a situation whereby small and medium enterprise produce products, produce components, right? It could be a valve, it could be, some components that just ties up into the big picture of what the current economy is. So off the top of my head, that's what I see the roles of SMEs playing in the digital economy. They'll play a significant role because, SMEs by design don't require huge amount of capital, right? So they have a way around capital issues and they can still make impact. But one key thing that you should take note of is innovation, innovation, innovation. That's what I think.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. The MD himself. We'll move to the next thing on the program. We have Mr. Donald Hero online for the organization. Mr. Donald, are you ready for us? How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Thank you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm actually looking for your bio. I'm looking for your bio. I'd like to read it. I'd like people to know who we're dealing with. But before that, just say one or two things for us so that we can know before I find your bio.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Don Iro, and I am currently Managing Director for Alltex Limited. I've been in the IT world, all technology world for, I think, just over 15 years. So operating in a global and local capacity. And when I say global and local capacity, I mean global, worldwide, and local in the UK and the European region. So most recently, before joining Alltex, I was the head of projects and programs for the public sector for the UK, Israel, Ireland, Middle East, and Africa for a large system integrator. And I'm delighted to be here today to talk to you about an exciting topic, actually, which I tend to lean into a lot, which is creating opportunities from nothing.
Oh, thank you so much. I can see you graduated from graduated with BEng, electronic engineer, top 5 in class. Wow.
Only
Managing
just.
Director of Managing Director at Alltex and founder of Hamilton Berkeley, operating in IT digital strategy, project management, and consultancy area. More recently, private investor in high impact, high potential businesses. Thank you so much. Donna has served in multiple senior and service project delivery roles for medium to large organizations, and more recently within DXC Technology public sector business in the UK and Ireland, Israel, Middle East, and Africa. It seems to be all over. Previous roles include leadership over more than 12 years at global and regional level. In addition to his academic qualifications, Don holds several professional businesses and entrepreneurship qualifications. As well as his successful professional career, Don is an active supporter for diversity and inclusively in workplace community, and provides mentorship across business strategies, delivery, and leadership. Wow. Thank you so much. Over to you now. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay, thank you. So I'm pleased to be here to talk to you about this topic. When I was approached yesterday to talk about it, I thought what I haven't done is I haven't put slides together, but I thought it would be good to just to paint a picture for everyone here. And I was really thinking, what is the most relevant scenarios to bring to this forum? There are a lot of scenarios. And I think, you know, one of the things that I'd like to say is to start with is there isn't never an opportunity. Yeah, so there's double negatives in that statement. So we need to change this from opportunities out of nothing, actually, to opportunities out of something, right? Because there's always something that presents itself. So we're sat today, and a lot of the conversations we've had, you know, the first 3 conversations that I've listened to have talked about the situation we find ourselves in. So we're today struggling with COVID. We are struggling with a number of challenges, you know, in the geographical and business space. IT is an enabler. You know, we've talked about that. We've talked about the future and where to invest in, or where to invest your careers and your resources in the future in the leading edge technologies, as we've just been told by Teni 4.0 and all that good stuff. But actually, it's now in the behaviors. How do you then take a challenge and twist it round? Okay, so there's a couple of things I was thinking about. So there's a saying that goes in the lines of, you know, people who wonder if a glass is half empty or half full are missing the point, right? And that's very important. So, you know, people talk about, I'm personally a half full person because I'm very optimistic. But the farther I go in my career, I find that I kind of tether myself back towards the half empty bits, just so I'm balanced in the decisions that I make. But actually, that's all irrelevant. Throw it away, because you need all of those things. You need people who are pessimistic in life. You need people who are optimistic in life, and you need that balance. But actually, I would say, chuck that away. The glass is refillable. And what I mean by that is, wherever you find yourself, there is an opportunity. So if a glass is empty, just go and put some more water in it. You know, go and do it. Go and make it happen. I think that's the key thing that I'd like to just kind of get across to the people today, to say, you know, we are not a victim. We're not a victim of where we find ourselves. We are actually the designers to our own capabilities of where we want ourselves to get to. A lot of people who know me, and Toyin knows me, I've known Toyin for, I think, almost 15 years now, know that I've got a backstory, and we all have a backstory. But, you know, I can come to that later. I haven't really got enough time to delve into that. But I think one of the key things I've taken with me through my process of life and development is, I latch to this saying, which is, you know, I always ask to be granted the serenity. This is a saying as well, so most of you guys know this. To accept the things that I cannot change, sorry, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. How do you know the difference? That comes through experience. It comes through failures, it comes through challenges, it comes through taking risks, it comes through applying yourself, it comes through actually learning from others, and self-awareness. So by understanding your strengths, you know what you can bring to the table. understanding your weaknesses. It's not for you to say to yourself, oh, I've got a weakness or my glass is half full. It's for you to be able to anticipate what you need when you're faced with those challenges. So it's important. People partner with people, or opportunities present themselves in a better way when there's a synergy. And that synergy is your strengths plus someone else's strength. That has to be your weakness. And your weakness, your strength has got to be their weakness. And that's the best, I would say, synergized relationship that you can find. So it's very important to understand those things, to understand where you can generally make a difference. And don't be afraid to leverage on people, both at lower levels of the organization or in your social sphere, to even the higher levels. And to the presentation that was just given about two presentations before now, in the sense of nagging people, nag people. If there is something you need to get, focus on getting that information. Try to mirror your behaviors towards what you'd like to achieve. It's very important. But then, okay, the bits that you can't change, we know today with COVID, we can't change COVID. The UK have declared a recession. The world has been in a recession for months. The UK only declared it this week. But actually, anyone with half a brain could tell that we're going to head down the recession anyway. So we had one or two options. Either we all complained about the recession and go, oh God, everything's going to go wrong. Or we bottled down and we thought about what we can do in the recession to come out in a better way. There's loads of actions that go through that. Either you think about your cost base, you think about your expenditure, you remove non-essential stuff. You think about positioning yourself to provide a service or to sell a product that is in demand. You actually also think about giving some of your service to the people who are actually fighting the good fight. None of those go to waste, because at the end of the day, you are volunteering, you're putting your time into the greater good, and you're developing yourself. I like the suggestion that was given about trading your expertise for knowledge, because none of that stuff goes away. It adds to you being able to get the wisdom to know the difference. So I think taking all of that in and considering, there are things that happen outside of your control, but there are things you can do to get yourself a better, I would say, a better landing position to grow. And we've also got to realize, and I think Tony gave this in the session yesterday, I saw it on the YouTube page, and that was fantastic, that when you're in this situation, there's a few people going through the same problem. So presenting a win-win by understanding your strengths, understanding the things you can control and you bring to the table, there is someone else there, no matter how busy they are, who would listen to you if you've got a genuine answer to their problems. So always seek ways where you can add value. Always seek ways where you can not innovate, but you can take things that already exist and twist them. So now I'm going to give you a few options of organizations that we all use today. Teni's mentioned WhatsApp, which was fantastic. WhatsApp was developed in the recession. A number of organizations we know today that we celebrate were developed in the recession. General Electric, GE, it's a massive organization, was developed in the recession. Airbnb was developed in 2007, and it was a bunch of guys who just thought, you know what, we'll try and get ourselves some money, right? They were bootstrapped, and they rented out the space. They were middlemen, right? They rented out the space that didn't belong to them. Today, Airbnb is a massive, massive organization and a force to reckon with. Disney, Disney today, we're looking at Disney, and, people travel all around the world and they go to see these Disney programs. They were all built. Disney was built in a recession. FedEx, Microsoft, the list goes on. You know, these are people who actually brought an IBM, HP. There's a bunch of them. They all thought about the situation they found themselves in and how they could use their expertise, their connections, and their personalities to connect the dots. So the business plan is important, as the witch said, rightly said earlier. It's very important because that positions what you bring to the table, to the who wants it and how are you going to get it to them. Technology and partnerships and relationships and your personality, because you're your biggest brand, integrity, being able to answer to whatever you said you were going to do, goes a long way in helping you get to that business case and the destination of that. And I would like to say at the end, I would like to round this up to say, you know, nothing is new and no situation presents itself as a brand new situation. They might have a new badge, but people have experienced the pain of that in the past. So no knowledge is lost knowledge. Read and read and read, as has been suggested. Research a lot to understand what people did in those situations, what people did in the war, what people did when there was swine flu, what people did years ago. I think it was in the 30s, there was a massive, I can't remember the name now, but that was the biggest pandemic or epidemic, I don't know which one it was, that destroyed a lot of people and a lot of property and families. But we're enjoying it today, we're enjoying the world today, so the world didn't stop. So you've got to take a lot of encouragement from that to say, there is a way through this, and I'm either going to come out of it alive and winning, I'm going to come out of it okay. There's no two ways about it. You're either going to come out okay or you're going to come out winning. So I'll end this this session with a small statement, just to say, don't worry about everything else. Don't worry about the headwinds. They would happen. Worry about developing yourself. Worry about partnering with people. Worry about being a good person. And you find your way through it. There's always a backstory to people. There are always negatives and positives. But you've always got to take the negatives, twist it round to your benefit. No one's going to design a career for you. You have to design your career for yourself. And that's the bit where people find over 10 years, 15 years, they find, oh gosh, I've done this myself. But with a lot of support, with a significant network, which you build from day one. So start now to build a network, start now to define who you are, and don't stop. Thank you.
I'm not sure. It looks like Tayo's laptop might have dropped off. Tayo, can you hear us? Hello, Tayo.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Don Hero. That's an awesome presentation from you. In fact, they will have to comment and say, awesome. Thank you, Adonald. Awesome presentation. Wow, that's fantastic. I must say, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. And thank you for bringing that message of hope. Thank you for bringing that message of faith. Thank you for bringing that message of love and of courage to the world. We are so, so grateful. And our next thing we have to do now is that some of our young people are actually online now to just want to say one or two things about their experiences with Do the Dream since for over 10 years. Over to you, Ayomiku. Can you hear me? Ayomiku, Ayodeji, can you hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, what about Paulina Idris? Can you hear me? Hello. Idris Paulina, can you hear me? Okay, if you can. Nelson, are you online? Ayomikun, can you hear me? Seems Ayomikun, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, sir.
Okay,
Hello, sir.
so thank you. No, Ayo is here. We give it to Ayo first.
Okay.
Hello, Ayo. Can you hear? It seems your mic, you need to unmute your mic. Okay. You need to unmute your mic. All right. We must hear from you today. Okay, over to you, Ayomiku. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. Okay. Well, Paulina, over to you. Over to you. It seems we can reach out to Ayomiku. Just say one or two things so that we can move to the next thing.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Romire, Mr. Olumide. It's a pleasure being here, actually. I'm so happy to be here. Well, the first speaker was speaking this afternoon. I just remembered 2009 in a very wonderful way. I remember one day my class, then I was in XS1, and then DoTheDream came to our school. It was like, wow. And I remember really then I was so happy. And hearing all those people come to speak to us was like a motivation to me. I was like, okay, someday I must be like this. Someday I must go out to other people, other teens and youth, and actually speak to them too, to motivate them to build their dreams. And it's been 11 years now. And I can proudly say that since that 2009, I've been speaking to youth in different ways, at different places. At times, it doesn't even matter if it's a group of 5, 6, at times we just be a one-on-one discussion. I don't want to appreciate DoTheDream because they brought out that in me. I do see myself like someone that was very, very shy, very quiet. I don't really relate to people that much. I felt there was nothing I had to offer, actually. I felt, hey, me, who are you to talk to someone else? But being in DoTheDream for years now, I can proudly say that I have youths that look up to me. I have teens that look up to me. I stand in places and I speak and be like, wow, how can you speak so well? Like, okay, I've been trained and I've been working with DoTheDream for years. I don't want to thank DoTheDream for this opportunity. Last year I was given an opportunity to I spoke to over 200 persons. I went to a faculty in University of Ibadan to speak to the students. Then I went to a youth camp, and one of the things that really raised in there was equality. I so much believe in girls. Girls are assets. You know, I went to Enugu last year to volunteer with a non-governmental organization, and well, when I was there, I saw that most of the girls' child were not really for the community I was placed. I saw that there was this imbalance between a female child and a male child, and so they believe that the male child should be given more priority as it were to female children. And I was like, no, this is wrong. This should not be what should be doing at this time. No, we should have developed more than this. And so I took it upon myself when I was given the opportunity to speak to the students to tell them about gender equality. Yes, girls are assets. Girls should be treated equally. Girls should be given everything they need actually to actually rise up. When Mr. David was talking about technology, he was saying that just like I think he mentioned about 24% of women having access to technology. And even at now, you feel girls don't really have the support as it were, or the full support of their parents to actually use this technology. They believe that the male should be given that, and I don't think it is so. So I've been trying to at least talk to as many as I can in occasions where I have an opportunity to talk to that. Girls should be given equal access. Girls should be trained. I can remember there was a program that was held by DoTheDream several years ago, and the program was on girls, the importance of girls. And I remember there was a particular should I say, I won't say a slang, where we say, okay, build a woman and then you build a nation. So that has been one of my greatest passions for years now since I joined the dream. And I really must commend, sir. Mr. Tayo has really been awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for picking me out several years ago. Thank you for it's been years now. Like I was not like this 11 years back. I was shy, I was timid. I couldn't really stand and speak to a lot of people, but the dream are actually taking me places, and I must commend you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Idris Paulina. That's fantastic. Ayo Mikun, are you around? Can you hear me, Ayo Mikun? Mr. President, please, can you unmute Ayo? Can you hear me? It's showing Ayo Mikun, your speaker is, your audio is. Thank you, Paulina, for having courage to speak and share. Wow, Susan Max is online. Thank you, Susan. You don't want to say anything today. You're going to say something. Just a minute. Ayomiku, we are waiting for you. Unmute your mic, please. President, please, can you assist? Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I've tried unmuting a mic, but it seems like it's still muted. I'm not sure what's going on. Technology, yeah?
Yes. Nelson, are you online?
Yes, I'm online, sir.
Okay, over to you. Good afternoon. Over to you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to the amazing speaker that have spoken. Today has been a very, I think, very interesting for me. So basically, I actually want to share my experience, why I was in Do the Dream, then way back where I was in secondary school. Myself, and I think myself, I was acquainted to Paulina because we went to same senior secondary school rather. I was this very shy person. I don't know why, why we are always shy. But I was this very shy person. I really don't like talking too much. I do a lot of observing and learning through the process. And I thank God for the capacity that Dream brought to our school. Sometimes when you see yourself in an environment and it feels as if the environment is not actually helping you grow, but Dream came in and gave me the opportunity. I would actually say that my first speaking engagement was when I spoke at United Nations Information Center in Lagos. That was a life.
It seems we have technical issue again.
For me, and that I then in different life which I had. Hello.
Please go on.
Hello.
Go on.
Okay. Yeah. So I think the privilege I had, why volunteering and also becoming part of the Do the Dream family was the opportunity I was given, the platform. One of the things that we believe in Do the Dream is to help develop the youth to ensure that they work in their own capability and their own capacity. I was also opportune, like Paulina said, to volunteer with BSO, a non-governmental organization that was funded by the UK. It was really an amazing opportunity for me. At first, I was kind of a little, I really don't really understand, what I'm going to do. Like, it's kind of, I don't want to say strange per se, but I felt, that was a life-changing opportunity. And I think the capacity that Do the Dream brought into my life actually changed a lot of things totally, because the mindset, working alongside with different people from different, from that environment, from the UK, people from Nigeria, coming to a lot of these guys. Most of them are, some of them are very, in terms of some of them are knowledgeable in terms of other developmental space and all that. So it was quite interesting at the point. I really want to appreciate Uncle Tayo for great work he has done so far, for grooming myself and also my the Do the Dream team to become to go out there to represent. And I'm really so passionate in keep pushing and keep pushing. So far so good. I've been in contact with different youths. I talk in different capability, in different capacity rather, to amazing youths in my locality and also in where I have the opportunity. I also involve myself in STEM education, where I also train kids, young kids, kids with diverse abilities, like these kids that we call that are autism. I also train them on how to code and all that. And due to the fact that I learned these processes, I learned these things via Do the Dream, this actually helped me to become a better person of myself. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Do the Dream, for the opportunity. And I'm really grateful.
Thank you so much, Nelson Izar. Thank you. Thank you for that awesome presentation. Ayomiku, are you ready for us now? Can you hear me, Ayo? Ayo, can you hear me? Wow, it seems we're having technical issue with Ayomiku again. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you so much.
She's not on. I don't think she's on the line. I believe the network is dropped from her end.
The network is dropping. So our time is fast spent. We're going straight to the next presentation, who happens to be wow, volunteering too. Yay! Correct. Thank you so much. We have Mrs. Yemi Sholoton again online today. We have to appeal to her to please come online again and to complete a session again for just few minutes before we give Mrs. Miriam the opportunity today. Over to you, Mrs. Sholoton. People know you, people are waiting for you, people are expecting that beautiful message from you. Let's get it going straight and now. Thank you.
Thank you for the energy. Oh my goodness. This energy is good. I think that just kind of really stirred my spirit right there. Thank you everyone once again for having me on back today. I'm excited to be back, and I'm going to be dealing with some of the questions that we had towards the end of the session yesterday. So I will address that in my presentation. I want to thank the Dream team for having me back. I want to thank fellow speakers. It's been wonderful on this platform. I'm having a great time. I thank you for the opportunity. I don't take it lightly at all. So thank you. Thank you very much. So I've heard a lot of the speakers, they keep on talking about building relationship, how important it is to build relationship in life and to be ready to add value, to know who you are. All the speakers before me have mentioned that. And so this will drive home what I was saying yesterday when it comes to you volunteering, you giving your time, your energy, your resources towards a common goal for the greater good. So really, you're building relationships as you're volunteering alongside people, you're working with people, you are meeting new people, or forming relationships with forming old relationships, nurturing relationships, and people talk to you as for example, maybe you're putting an assembly line in this COVID days. We've been doing a lot of giving out of food and essentials to people, and you find yourself in line, assembling line, putting things in bags and passing it on to the next person, and you have a relationship right there, working together, teaming up, being in a team. So this is the kind of example that we have for volunteering, and it's just great to know that your time is worth it. It's very important for you to know that your time is worth it. You are capable, you have the mind to serve, and that's why you're doing this. So I'm gonna go quickly into talking about the different types of volunteering, because I think if we do know the types of volunteering, some of the questions that were asked yesterday, we would not be asking those questions. We would have clarity. So there are a few types of volunteering that we can have. There are so many ways you can volunteer. There are so many ways you can give back. The first one is formal volunteering, and that type is structured. That type is supervised. You have a program supervisor that will show you what to do, where to go, what to talk about. This is how we do things here. And the example of that will probably be like a tour guide. A tour guide, or you are in a hospital, you're volunteering in the hospital, you greet patients when they come in, that is an area that I think we need to look at globally and really expand on that. It's a type of volunteering as well. So you're greeting people as they're coming into the hallways of the hospital. You're giving them directions. They're looking for where the imaging center is. They're looking for where a particular doctor's office is. They're looking for the elevator. They're looking for the parking lot. You are there to explain to them. But you cannot do that by yourself, just going to that facility and just standing there to greet. That has to be structured. That has to be supervised. So that is a formal type. And the another type is the governance type of volunteering. That is in an organization, like you're part of the decision making of do the dream, for example. Mr. Teni Eleoramo, other people that are involved in this team, they're part of the governance. And I'm not sure if they're being paid, but if they're not being paid, then they're volunteering their time to do this and their resources. So if you're on a board of trustees, you are part of the governance volunteering team, and you're attending regular meetings. You get to a meeting, you're taking notes. You're the one that has been assigned to take notes. Those are examples of governance volunteering. And another type is the non-formal. Non-formal, when I say non-formal volunteering, it's different from informal. Okay, so non-formal will be in local communities in an unstructured setting. So that one, you're not to how to go about it, but you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart, but you are in a group. You are in a group. It's done, maybe for example, a community is unfunded. They don't have enough funds to do stuff, and then you come together and you put things in place for them. You create well for them, drinking water and all of that. That is non-formal. Now, informal, that I said it's not the same with the non-formal, is like you go, during this COVID, we've been helping a lot of elderly to get their groceries. We've been helping them to, you don't want to expose them because they're that group that is, COVID, we don't want them to get sick. So we go and get them their grocery, you bring it to their house, you drop it by their doorsteps. I did some like that with my husband and children. We helped some elderlies in a neighborhood to get their grocery. That is informal. It's informal. You have a giveaway or a fundraiser, and you get your friends together and they come and help you, and they volunteer. They're running the traffic. That's an example. You want to run the traffic. You want to make sure that the assemblage line is going smoothly. You're giving out instructions. You're organizing. You're making things work. It's informal. So I believe, as I'm saying all of this, you're looking at where you as a youth can engage. You can engage in these areas, because that will create a pathway for you to build a long-lasting resume and relationships with people. And another example, another type is social action. Social action, I have passion in social action reforms. Social reform is my thing. I just love to see changes in social in our environment. I want to see changes. I want to see things done differently. So that is my area. And social action volunteers are joined together for a common goal. So you see yourself as comrades, or you're doing things together for the same cause. For example, lobbyists, in government houses, they have the same cause. Maybe lobbyists that have interests of IT in heart, like DeWitt. They go and lobby for all these regulations that would benefit IT or technology business in the world. So you're looking at that, you're attending rallies, you're talking to people about issues, you're making placards, you're, not protests that are not allowing for conversation, but very constructive conversations. You're organizing rallies. That is to have social reforms take place. And so that's a social action. Another type is project-based. Project-based, I do that as well. I serve on steering committees for projects that will benefit my community. Moms Summit, Youth Development Summits, and like one like this, we put projects together, and that I am invited on to steer that committee, to be part of the steering committee. So that is different. And in this type of volunteering work, it requires volunteers to have specific skills. You need skills for that. You need skill set to be able to be a part of a project-based volunteer group. For example, a member of committee planning the anniversary of your town. Maybe you're going to have project managers there. You're going to have event planners there. You're going to have decorators there. You're going to have different people with different skill sets. So you need skills to be a part of a project-based volunteering. And the other types that I'm just going to put together under one umbrella is like internships. Internships will come under volunteering. And I put that separately because you can have paid internship, you can have unpaid internship. Some paid internships, they give you stipends, but in some, they don't give you anything. You're just giving your time to help them out. So, you're doing what is under what I call, volunteerism. Sometimes you have to travel. You have to travel, like Paulina said all the time, and I believe Nelson also said it. They had to travel maybe to another state to go and speak. Okay, so that is volunteerism for me, and so, but it's part of volunteering as well. And you can be part of an NGO doing one thing or the other. Now, the most important one for me now with this present situation that we're in is the online volunteering and micro volunteering. So DeWitt mentioned it, that you can be wherever you are now and still be a volunteer. You can be wherever you are globally. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have money to go to those places, because I believe we had a question yesterday about you want to volunteer, but you don't have money to travel to where you want to volunteer. That's okay. You can volunteer with your, laptop in front of you, or on your device, whatever type of device that you have. You can volunteer right there, And the online volunteering is work that can range from mentoring. You can mentor, you can help design websites, you can assist in social media campaigns, and like what DeWitt said, you can volunteer in one area in exchange for them to teach you something. So let's say you're very good at website designing, and then you can say, okay, I'll help you to update your website, or I'll help you to do your social media campaign, and you can, in return for that, you can teach me how to code, So you're doing that, you're based in Nigeria, but you are interning or you're volunteering with a company in India. So that's something I think the youth of today really needs to look into that, because that builds you up. It builds you up. It builds your resume up. It builds up your experience, your credentials, makes you more authentic to be out there. And micro volunteering is that type that we all know. We're giving money on GoFundMe, and other platforms to help a particular cause. You are volunteering as well, as you're putting your money into a cause online, and you're supporting a program, a project with your funds. You're doing that online. You're volunteering as well. So that is what I have for you on the types of volunteering. And I hope that covers some of the questions that we had coming in yesterday. Another question that we had was the do's and the don'ts of volunteering. So I'm going to go quickly over the do's and the don'ts. Now, do make sure that you research the program that you want to volunteer in very well. You want to make sure that you go, on the internet, you ask questions from those who have volunteered in that organization before. Ask them, talk to them. How is this program like? What do they do? How is it? And that way, that helps you to decide if it's a good fit for you or not. If it's not a good fit for you, you don't want to go there. So you want to make sure that you do your research. You examine your reasons for wanting to volunteer. You want to make sure that you examine your reasons. Remember, you have to have that good intention, that your heart to serve has to be there. If you don't have the heart to serve and you just want to go there and pester people, we'll come to that under our don'ts. You want to just go there and create nuisance. You don't do that. But examine your reason for wanting to volunteer. And then the next one is work with organization and not for them. So you want to make sure that you're working with their vision, you're working with their mission. What do they stand for? What are their core values? And those are the values that you're going to run with. Those are the values you're going to represent. If Paulina or Nelson, if they get to Abuja to represent Do the Dream, for example, they have to carry the vision of Do the Dream. They're not going to go there and represent themselves. They're working with the organization and not for themselves. And another one like that is, you should know that you're working with people and not for people. So you're going to be working alongside other people. You're going to work with them as a team member. And you must remember that you're not the important one, that it is not, it's not about you. I know that sounds kind of funny, but it's not about you. You're not there for the limelight. You're not there for the fame. I volunteer in a project that, the volunteers are up to 500 sometimes, because in Houston, where I live, we organize what is called the Christmas Toys for Kids. And I've been part of this project for about 5 years now. And it's not from my own stables. We join a member of the House of Representatives. She calls us in. And so we form the core committee, and then we have volunteers under us. And they are 500, over 500, because we're going to be taking care of about 13,000 to 15,000 children, giving them gifts. So it's not about you. Who sees you at that point? But you're important because you are part of what is going on. If you leave your station uncovered, there is a loophole there. So it's not about you. It's not about you. You're not the important one. It's about the cause. So what do you not do? What do you not do as a volunteer? Don't go volunteering to pester other volunteers for money or employment. Don't go there and the first person you see or the first project you're working on, you're already talking about the family problems that you have, how you don't have money, how you've not been able to go to school. Don't start with that. You need to build that relationship first of all, and then you see whether it's something you want to share this information with somebody else. So don't go there to pester people. Don't make compromises in quality of the organization or program that you want to be a part of. That is very important because your credibility is on the line as well. So you wanna don't make compromises. Don't go and join an organization to volunteer because for the wrong reasons, you know, corruption or they're doing something terrible, but you just feel that you just want to support them. Don't compromise your stand. Don't compromise who you are. Then don't do something because you thought it would be good. Always consult the project lead. So it's good to use your initiative, you know, it's good to be able to handle situations, but sometimes you may need to go back to the project lead. Mr. Tayo, what do we do about this? Don't take things into your hands too much, especially if you're working on a project. Always go back to the lead. Now, quickly, I'm going to round up with the benefits that you have from volunteering. You know, it makes you a better person. That's not even part of the list, but it just makes you a better person. It makes you a better person. It gives you fulfillment. It gives you fulfillment of purpose. You're happier, you're healthier. So you gain confidence. That's my number one. As a professional, you gain confidence by giving the chance to try something new. You know, you build a real sense of achievement. Like I keep referring to Paulina because I find her really, what she has enjoyed in Do the Dream, I find it very encouraging, you know, because she has gained confidence. Nelson also mentioned it. You become a better person. You are not timid anymore. The matter of timidity, that is for another day, because I think our cultures sometimes have a lot to play, a role to play in how we come out, you know, our confidence, in the area of confidence. So you gain confidence. As you're volunteering, the more you do it, the better you become, and you're making a difference. That is a benefit. You're making a difference. Volunteering can have a real and valuable positive effect on people, on communities, and on the society in general. So you're making a difference. And also you're being a part of a community. You're being a part of a community, you know, apart from your family and your friends, you're doing something else outside of the house. It just helps you to know that, you know, you can go back to these communities and ask questions and say, you know, I want to do this. I want to do my resume. I want to, you know, upgrade it. How do I do that? And that community will come together and help you out because everybody has something to bring to the table, right? Yeah. So also it can help you to learn new skills. It can help you to learn new skills. For example, me, I didn't know Trello. It's an app. Trello is an app, and I didn't know, I think a software rather. It's a software that you can use to plan, you know, project management and events and you can do a lot on Trello. I didn't know about it until I started to volunteer my time and take on projects for non-governmental organizations and for public sectors. So now I use it for my business. I use Trello in my business and it helps me very well. You can look that up and see if it's something you can use for your business as well. And also there's a benefit of taking on a challenge. You take on a challenge through volunteering, you can challenge yourself, you can try something different, you can achieve personal goals, you can practice using your skills and discover hidden talents. Yes, you can discover hidden talents while you're volunteering. You can just discover that, oh my goodness, I love to help the elderly. I love to be with children. But okay, talking about children, that, you know, you have to, there are rules and regulations because they don't just accept any kind of volunteer into helping children, but that is different. If you approach any company or organization for volunteering opportunities and they say you need to fill out a form, you need to do this, that's okay, do it, and give them all the information that they need. If they don't want you at that time, that's okay, try another organization. So take on challenges. It will help you to take on new challenges when you volunteer. For example, I mean, somebody really close to me, she just loves to take care of older, homeless people. She goes as a Christian, she handles it from a Christian point of view, and she goes out and talks to them, the homeless people, the drug addicts. She goes to talk to them, and they have, they just have a different mindset after she's spoken to them. And when she's going on the streets, some of them see her and they call her, Eunice, how are you today? I've not done any shot today. I haven't used a cuss word today. They give her like a report of their day, and that makes her really happy. It's a challenge that she just decided to take on through her church. And through that, an organization reached out to her and they wanted her to be their campaign flag bearer for a political party. This happened in another, in the UK. So these are benefits that you can get from volunteering. Like I said yesterday, you're building your resume, you're building a legacy. As you're building your resume, you're building legacy. So I'm hoping that after this summit, you're gonna go look, do your research. Everything is on the internet now, of your areas, places in your area where you can volunteer, where you can give of your time. I know that for those in Lagos, there's Lagos Food Bank. You can volunteer there. You can do a lot of things and have fun as you're volunteering. Have fun. Don't be stressed out. It's a lot of fun. Go there and have a great time. Have a great time. Meet people. Do great things. Be positive minded. It will sometimes even shift your mindset. When you wake up in the morning and you don't feel too good, by the time you go and volunteer and by the end of the day, you're feeling really good and positive about yourself and your journey in life. So I want to thank you all for the opportunity given to me once again. I appreciate this. I don't take it lightly. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Awesome presentation there. Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful presentation. Volunteering the key. Thank you so much. Ayomiku, just one attempt for you, last attempt. Are you available for us now, Ayo? Hello, Ayo, can you hear us, Ayo? Wow, she's not online. Ayo, are you here? Can you unmute your mic? It's just too painful. It's one of our best.
To unmute her, but it seems like there's something wrong with the. I don't know if she's using her phone, but it could be her phone.
Can you hear me now? Can you say something? Your mic is on mute. Can you unmute yourself? Can you unmute your mic? Oh, we really want Ayomiku to speak because Ayomiku has over 2,500 girls she mentors presently, and that's a big deal for us. Oh, we're going to work on that. While we move to the next thing we are doing now, hello?
She's back.
Okay.
Ayomiku is online.
All right. Can you hear me now?
She needs to unmute herself. She needs to unmute.
Unmute your mic. unmute your mic. Your mic, can you unmute your mic, Ayo? Wow. Wow, technology can be awesome. And we've been having this session for some times.
Please allow me to walk her through. Ayomiko, if you look at the bottom, there's a sign, a symbol of microphone. For you, it's probably crossed out, so just click on it. It should release you.
And that symbol's red on the bottom. It's a left red little microphone.
Wow.
Ayomiko, I'm going to click on mute from here. It should show you something on the screen on your phone, and when it does, it should give you a small link that you can click on. Okay. Can you see any notification popping up on your screen? Okay, so it should tell you to unmute yourself. It'll say something like the admin has unmuted you, something to that effect.
Sorry, if it's a technical glitch, you will have to log out and log back in. Maybe it's something. It can't be that. If you should be able to unmute her.
Yeah, I've tried to unmute her from here with admin access, but it's not working. So I think you need to log out and log back in, okay, and check your settings when you're logging back in, so you can log in unmuted.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ayomiko. We really want to hear from you, but it's been awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a final speaker on this wonderful 2020 International Youth Day Conference of DoTheDream, Marian Ogundairo. Wow, IT consultant, business transition strategist. A powerful quote: if you think you are too small to make a difference, try sleeping in bed with a mosquito. Chinese proverb. Marian is a digital business strategist with over 20 years of project experience. As an IT consultant, business analyst, her experience spans across both the corporate and public sectors, working on the end-to-end life cycle of a variety of projects. These projects include digital transformation, machine learning, and most recently, an award-winning innovative artificial intelligence project in one of the big four professional services. As a business transition strategist, Marian helps business owners and service-based businesses build and scale profitable and sustainable businesses by leveraging strategies and technology, enabling them to build the life of their dreams. Some of our clients who have seen revenue growth in their businesses are in automobile, food service, health, nutrition, and legal sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, with awesome, we can say standing ovation here now. Let's make welcome Marian Ogundairo to this wonderful event. Over to you, Marian.
Thank you. It's Marian. I wasn't expecting to read all that. That's like a bio that goes on somewhere, but anyway, there you go. Normally I would be talking about something to do with IT and everything. Well, we've heard so much from DoIT. We heard from we've heard so much today, so I'm not just going to go over those things because we can actually go back and listen. So today I've been asked to speak about my experience in public speaking. So let me start by saying that one of my first public speaking events, I was really very nervous. And I can speak. I don't have a problem speaking in front of everybody, but it's amazing when you're standing on a stage in front of everybody, how you get really nervous. So I actually was talking about the power of collaboration and unity, because I'm also very strongly, I'm a strong believer that we have to work together, that no man is an island, that if you want to make an impact or you want to make a difference, you can't go it alone, you know, you have to go together. So a little bit about me, I come from a large family, 10 girls, no boys, very strong women. And we always had unity. We're growing up, my mom will always say, for those of you that are not African here, we have like these brooms in Africa that are made from, what they made from the branches and everything. And my mom will always take one of them and she will break it. And she says, look, that's just one of it, you can break it. And when she takes the bundle, she'd try and break it and she'll say, no, you can't break it, you know? And I was here talking, giving them my story, feeling really nervous and thinking, my gosh, is this making sense? Is all, you know, I was sweating. I was like, you know, and I went through a story and they got the message. And when I finished talking, talk, I had like a standing ovation. I had people come up to me and talk to me. Now, what did I learn from this? And that's what I want to talk about. When you're actually, for young people, when you're going out, for anybody actually, when you're going out to speak, some things over the years that I've learned about myself and things that I've picked up, learning from reading, from educating myself as well. When you want to go and have a speech or when you're talking, you should always have what we call like a signature speech. What's a signature speech? That's something that you want to be known for, the thing that you've chosen that you want to be talking about. So you always have that one thing. And I'm going to gloss over this, I'm sorry, quite fast, because I'm very conscious of the fact that we've gone over time. So signature speech, something that you know you want to be known for, your topic that you're actually interested. Yemi was talking to us and she talked about her love for helping, you know, like the voluntary work and everything. So that's not synonymous for me. Anytime I see her name now, I'm going to be thinking about those kind of things, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is that you need to know your audience. Before you go and you talk, you need to understand, why am I actually in front of these people? What do they really want to hear? You know, am I just going, you need to be in alignment, because you're not going to be talking to mothers with babies and there's a board, you go into board meeting with maybe some CEOs and they're like, you start talking about, you know, your life as a mom. I mean, there's just something that's not right there. Same thing as when you want to go and volunteer, you need to be in alignment. Is this really what I want to do? When you're starting out, it's quite experimental because you're not sure what it is that you want to do. So as Yemi said in her talk, she was like, you go out and see if it's something that you like, you know? There's no point going into something all the way down and you don't have any alignment, you're not passionate about it. You need to be passionate about that. So when you're going to talk, know your audience, because you're talking about something that you're passionate about. Practice, 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 guys. Don't think that anybody in here, like those of us that are like older, you know, young adults, you know, we just come here and we just talk. I know today it was off the cuff for me, but I have practiced in my profession over a period of time. So you make sure you practice. Don't just go in there and just wing it. Nobody does that. There's a formula for everything. So a story as well, where you have a storyline. I can't go into details, but there's even a structure to when you're actually telling a story, where you're actually having a build up to how you got to where you were. And maybe you went through some hard times and, you know, things were going bad and you were down there for some time. And then you got to that point where there was a pivot that made a difference, and that thing, or you met someone that actually showed you the way, the plan, you know what I mean? And then today, where you're uphill and where you are, you're doing today, there's a framework, there's a plan, there's a structure, there's a process to everything that you do. So you need to go out, when you're going out to learn, like David said, you're always learning, learn those structures, learn those frameworks, learn the process, just learn, you know, be open, always learning. We're still learning, I'm still learning. I don't know everything. I've learned a lot today myself, just listening in here. So until the day we leave, we're going to keep learning. And if you're like an open mind, you don't think, oh, I know this, I've heard this before. You're always going to get something new from whatever you listen to. So keep learning, okay? Practice, like I say. Also, you need to understand, know what your style is. We're all individuals. Everybody here today has spoken. I'm not going to try and be like Toyin. I'm not going to try and be like anybody. Just be who you are. You need to be authentic. If you feel that, if you're that kind of person that is you know, if you've got the sense of humor, use it when you're talking. We want to see human beings. We don't want to see, I know we're going to an era where we have robots. We're going to have a lot of them. We don't need human robots. We need human beings, you know? So you need to, and your club, people say, well, you know, when we say some things like B2B, business to business, I still say really, when you think the underlying of, there's nothing like business to business. You might call it business to business. We're talking people to people, because behind those businesses are human beings. You know, so you want to be able to connect with human beings, and human beings don't actually buy into what it is you're saying unless you make a kind of human connection. If you're just cold, people just don't buy into them. They need to understand, what's your vision? Why are you actually here? You start to have conversations. You begin to warm up to people. So even behind a large business, if you look at Apple, you still look at Steve Jobs as an example. People identified with Steve Jobs because of his vision. You know, and that's where, when we talk in business, we talk about start with your why. You must have a vision. Yes. So you make sure that you're yourself, because that comes through when you're actually speaking as well. One thing I'd like to say is that when you're talking, and I'm not going to go into this now, but maybe you can go out and look at it. But when you're speaking on stage, it's a little bit different from talking on Zoom or, you know, like this now, because, you know, technology has made it such that now we can all stay here and we can all talk. One of the things that actually helps, yeah, I know I'm flapping my hands around, but one of the things that help people to actually trust you a bit more is when they see your hands. You know, like they kind of like, there's this element of trust, you know, because they've thought somehow, well, you know, like if I'm talking like this, you know, I don't know, it's human psychology. It's not something that I've made up, you know, people just trust people where they can see your hands. But when you're talking on stage, the rules, not rules, guidelines that you can work the stage, you can connect. Like now I'm talking, nobody knows who I'm actually making eye contact, because I'm just talking, so it looks like I'm looking at all of you, right? Everyone thinks but if you're talking on stage, you want to actually hone in and connect to people. You smile, you want to actually see people. Those are all the things that actually help us. So be human, yes, walk your stage, test your equipment. We'll always have technological issues, right? It's how we recover from them and for anything else. And we have to be very understanding, like we have been in this case, you know, of that things are going to happen. We're always going to have technical glitches. So, but the thing is, it's good to actually have a run through and just like test things before you actually start speaking, especially on, and this is why I'm saying, even if you're on stage, if you're going to a stage to speak, go before you actually go on stage to speak, see the equipment, see, you know, just test things out before people come. Go early, go like 2 hours early to test out the equipment, make sure everything is working, so that, you know, you don't actually start to fumble, you know, when things actually happen. I did say, and then one other thing is know your topic. That's gone without saying. You're going to actually speak on something, is something that you know, and you know your topic, you can speak with confidence, and you need to own that stage, because you deserved that right, that platform. I don't know who Ayor is, but I can tell that that she deserves this platform, which is why it's quite disappointing if she can't come on, you know. So you own your stage, you come in here, and because you know your topic, you can actually speak with confidence. Okay. Like I said, don't be afraid to speak with humor. Yes, the other thing is that when you're speaking, it's always about your audience. Always about your audience. It's never, I think I've heard this quite over the couple of days. A lot of people have touched on it. What's in it for them? I think Yemi even said something about it today as well. It's never about you. It's all, I'm speaking now, it's not about me. I know that the limelight is on me, the camera is on me, but I'm actually imparting my understanding, my knowledge. So always, when you're speaking, know that it's about them. I speak fast. I'm a very fast speaker. I've always spoken fast. I try sometimes to speak slowly, but I'm not going to force myself to try and speak in a very slow manner because I want to be like somebody else. That's another thing I want to do, which is about owning yourself. So, you know, just kind of like understand that I'm thinking about, okay, maybe sometimes I have to slow down because I'm talking to my audience. There's something in it, a message I want to get them across. You can pause and let it drop. You can, there's nothing wrong. You can always pause and let it drop. And then maybe last thing I'll say is just be, all of us, we all tend to do is just be mindful sometimes of the time. Sometimes we go overrun, but it happens, but just something that we can do, be mindful of time. So, I mean, this is a very different topic that I would normally be talking about, normally talking on IT and everything, but I hope that this has helped and you've enjoyed this little presentation. Thank you. You're muted.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this beautiful presentation. Wow, wow, wow. Indeed, you must be an engine. Over to you, Mr. President. One or two things. Over to you, Mr. President. If you can still can bring Ayo Mekun back.
All right. So first of all, I'd really like to apologize to everyone for the delay. Marian touched on something. Know your audience. You talked about testing your equipment. Today technology seems to have delayed us a bit. But we'll take responsibility for that. So we do apologize for the delay. We truly respect your time, and we're all having fun here, having a wonderful time. And I'm sure those on Facebook who are also watching are enjoying this discussion and everything that we've presented today. I don't want to take too much time, but I want to say something. Today everyone has talked about knowing yourself, knowing your strength. They talked about volunteering, being passionate. There's a theme. You start to see a common theme, which goes back to one thing. Know who you are, know what you want, know what you like. Now, because I come from the world of consulting and IT and all those things, there's a common, tool we use, which is called SWOT analysis. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of SWOT analysis and all that, but there's something I want to touch on in relation to SWOT analysis, and it's called a SCOP analysis, which is SCUP. And these terminologies are actually used they're used in relation to the SWOT analysis. So what that means, S from the SCOP analysis, basically says strengthen your strength. So SWOT is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. SCOP, the S from it means you should strengthen your strength. The C from it means you should correct your weaknesses. So if you identify what your weaknesses are, you need to find a way to correct them, or you need to work with people who have strength that suffer your weaknesses. So correct your weakness. And then the U is to utilize the opportunities. Yesterday we talked about all the different opportunities out there. We talked about how the leaders globally should come together and help us to make those opportunities available to the youth, so that we can make the most of them. So you need to find out what those opportunities are and utilize those opportunities. And then the P is to prevent the threat. A threat, sometimes it's coming, sometimes you don't. But if you have the opportunity to know that there's a threat and you've done your analysis well, then you also have the same opportunity to prevent those threats. And it could be anything. But the most important thing is, if you are able to do some of these things, strengthen your strength, correct your weakness, utilize opportunities that are out there, and prevent threats, you stand a better chance of, reinforcing who you truly are, knowing who you are and what works for you, what makes you special, what makes you different, and doing a whole lot about it to make yourself a better individual, a better youth. So those are the few things I just want to drop. I believe Susan has a few words of wisdom for us today, so I'll keep quiet and give her the opportunity to talk as well. Thank you very much, Susan.
Was that to me? Okay.
Yes, to you.
It's okay. I'm sorry. I just want to say thank you. I mean, every single one of you all are incredible, and everybody brought something to the table over these 2 days that was unique and a piece of a beautiful puzzle that was just altogether a great picture about a time of transformation, a time where together what we can do is going to be where we can imagine what our future will be. We've worked on these systems, and these systems, whether they be healthcare, education, transportation, any of the systems, governance, have served society for such a long time, but we are reinventing our future. So we can do this dream. It's how big do we want to dream the systems, and do we want to dream the systems that will truly support humanity? Not only humanity, but biodiversity. As I say, The blue, the green, and the biodiversity in between. This is part of our economic model. It hasn't been for any government, for any country, but this is our future. And Africa and the Pacific Island region have already had that. They already realized that. So in some ways, they're ahead. They're ahead of that thinking is ahead of what we will see in the future. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Susan. And Tayo, I would let you wrap up this wonderful opportunity. But before I do that, I would like to say a special thank you to you for making this happen. I would like to thank you for getting everyone together. It hasn't been easy. I could see everything you've been doing, all the hard work behind the scenes. And I think it would be unfair not to, say thank you for doing this. All of us are here today because you've done something. You've gone out there, you've worked hard to get all of us together. And you've been very passionate about the youth. You've been very passionate about bringing all the youth together, And I think even when we had Paulina talk about all the things DoTheDream had done, and even Nelson, there's an element they didn't add to it, which is me. And that element is I've also learned from you, And there were times when I felt, oh, I can't do this today, but you never give up, and your resilience, your keep pushing attitude is quite infectious as well, because it allows me to also go out there and drop everything I'm doing and put my best foot forward. So thank you, Tayo, for making this happen. I really appreciate you. Okay, I'll give you the stage now to do the final bits. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency Olutayo Aromire, for that beautiful word. I'm so inspired to hear people saying we are doing something, and for me, that's a big deal. Before I round up, I'd like to say if we can give Ayomiku one more chance, if we can hear from her. Please, Mr. President, can you unmute Ayomiku if you can? I just spoke with her now. She said she needs to be unmuted. Ayomiku, can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me now? Oh, can you hear me now, Ayo? Hello? Hello?
I've unmuted her, but she also needs to do that herself on my end.
You need to unmute. Can you hear me? Just do thumbs if you can hear me. Just do like this if you can hear me. Yes. Now try and unmute your audio. It's by your left on your device. Oh, Father Lord. Oh, Ayomiku is actually the brain. It's one of the key personalities behind the Girls Are Assets conference.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think what Ayomiku is not getting right, it's like she can't see the microphone symbol there. If she could tap on the device that she's using, the microphone will pop up and it will have a red light across it. So you tap on that microphone, the red light will go. The red line will disappear. That is when you are unmuted, because it shows that you are muted here. We can see you, Ayomiku. Just click on the microphone. Then the red line will go off.
Wow.
But can you see the microphone? Can you see it? Yeah, tap on it, touch it. Yeah, I can see you doing something, but not very sure, because it's still showing that you are muted, because on your end, you need to do it yourself. You need to click on that microphone.
Okay.
What a shame.
I really want to hear her.
Oh, this is awesome. Ayomiku, all is well. All is well. All is well. Don't worry, it happens.
Or is there someone there that can help you? Do you have anybody around? Okay. Oh dear.
I think one thing you might be able to do is look at the list of telephone numbers on the email you received to remind you about the event. There might be a phone number that you can dial from Nigeria or something like that, and it'll give you an opportunity to enter the password or the passcode, and then we won't see you, but we'll hear you, because then you'll be dialing into this room. Do you want to give that a try before?
Or is it possible you switch off your video and try and stay with the audio? And try and, what about your audio?
I think it's her settings.
Okay.
So she obviously knows how to turn off her video. It's the same. It's her settings. It's something to do with her.
Can you tell us, please, Mr. Olumadewa, can you tell us what she does, what the project is about? Can you just
Ayomekun, she's the brain behind it. She's one of the brain behind Girls Are Assets across Africa. Ayomekun has spoken to over 2,000 girls in Africa for them to actually be the best of what they do. Ayomekun, she has a plan. She's actually one of the females in Africa is changing our world with the investment of, I really want her to actually say to the whole world herself. I'm making, you know, when you say somebody is small but mighty, you know, the way things are working is that God actually endowed mighty things in a smaller vessel, that sometimes there's a disconnection between the results and the vessel. So when you see some result and you are wondering where's the vessel, you'll be like, you remain for us. So such a thing is one of the key things that has really been happening. Then a kind of way of inspiring young people, way of inspiring men, way of inspiring, but when they see her, they decide to leave the portraying for her to let us know we can actually become, by giving them a change of heart without forcing, without anything, actually gives me one of the real reasons why I believe she's actually the blessing to our continent. And that's what I think, and I believe Ayomekun is the bomb that people, every man and woman, every young and old must definitely listen to. Before, I'm going to share the links of some of our videos on our chats so that we can actually listen to her and see what I'm actually saying. But while I'm actually searching for that, I would like to hand over to the Mr. President to actually close the event. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Tayo. I would like to use this opportunity to say thank you to all our speakers for joining us in the last 2 days. It's been a very wonderful event. I've learned so much from everyone who has contributed to the event.
You'll need to unlock your device first.
I've got my phone on. Excuse me for that. So it's been a very wonderful 2 days. Yemi, DeWitt, Susan, Marian, Olumide. We had Teni, Donald, who's dropped off now. We had Nelson also talk yesterday. You know, it's been really wonderful. We had Sammy as well. It was just too powerful, you know. And I think, you know, all the youths who joined us yesterday, joined us today, and those are also on Facebook, I believe that they've learned a lot from these 2 days. I believe that in some way, shape, or form, you know, we've equipped them with something that they'll take with them for the rest of their lives. You know, they still have to do the work, you know, they still have to put in the effort, they still have to find out who they truly are, you know, and find out their uniqueness, their gifts, their strengths. They still have to go out there and look for opportunities or align with those that can help them. They still have to understand the implication of technology and how that can, you know, help them in the future. They have to, you know, be confident enough to put themselves out there if they want to have conversations with people, have public speaking and all those things. They need to understand the importance of volunteering, you know, and putting themselves out there. And not expecting anything in return for, putting time out there, because these things will come back to them. And so I thank you all for, imparting myself and everyone else here with those wonderful nuggets, golden nuggets that I'll take with me, and I'm sure they'll all take it with themselves as well. And on a closing note, I would like to say, even though there's a pandemic out there and it's causing a lot of trouble, a lot of chaos in the world, we shouldn't let the problems of this world, prevent us from being the best we can be. We can be worried, we can be concerned, but let's focus on how we can move forward, make ourselves better, and add value to the world, make it a better place for everyone. That's my belief, and hopefully every one of you will have something wonderful to add. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for blessing us with all of this. I really appreciate it. So Ty, do you want to wrap up and close? You're on mute, Tayo.
Hello. Just one word from everyone and everyone that join us. One word. Hello.
We can all hear you. So let's start with DeWitt. One word.
One word.
The frequency.
Awesome. Pauline.
One word.
We can't hear you.
Just one word.
Tomorrow is better and brighter.
Thank you. Yemi.
Encouraged.
Awesome. You still there, Marian? One word. We can't hear you. You're mute. There we go. Technology.
Yeah. Possibilities.
Possibilities. Awesome. Olumide, one word.
Thank you.
Because his birthday, if it's not, then you can type it in the chat. If it is, then you can unmute and say something. Okay, we've got Reverend Eunice, one word.
Impactful.
Awesome. We've got someone called Huawei P20 Pro. So, Huawei, do you have a word for us? No, we can't hear you. Okay, Nelson, you, one word.
Mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. Awesome, thank you. And Muyinat, one word.
I think she's in.
Okay. So we'll officially like to say thank you, and this session is now over. I'll wait behind for everyone to leave. So thank you so much for your time once again.
So much.
Bye everyone.
Bye everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
See you.
Bye.
See you 2021. 2021.
Bye, everyone.
Wow.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
It's been a lovely program. And thanks to the moderator and the organizers. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
God bless you. Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.
Bye, Paulina. Thank you so much for your
Thank you,
time.
Mr. Aromire. I've heard about you so much.
I hope it's all
It was
good
been a
things.
shame. Right?
I hope it's all good things.
Yes, really, it has been. God bless you.
God bless you too. Thanks for all the wonderful things you're doing. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Ayo is still online. Ayo, it's just awesome that we can have the session. But Ayo, it's just awesome. Don't worry, everything will be fine.
We're all looking forward to having you on the call. You know, to having you talk to us about all the wonderful things you've been doing. You know, but
In fact, it's just there's a way it works. We're gonna build something around Ayomikun very soon, and we're gonna build. I'm telling you, International Girl Child Day is on the 11th of October. International Girl Child Day is on the 11th of October. Just remind yourself, International Girl Child Day in the 11th of October. We're gonna work with you to actually make that event awesome, awesome. So everything will be fine. Just be happy. It happens. Sugar.
yeah,
It happens.
keep doing what you're doing. The good news is everyone knows what you've done and what you're doing. And I think there's always, you know, one thing I've learned in life is every disappointment has a blessing, you know, in disguise. We don't know what that blessing is, but I believe the blessing is, you know, it's going to be something powerful. And you think, oh my days. So now I'm going to be on the stage talking to so many people about what I'm doing. You never know. Okay, so don't let what the technology that puts you down, don't let it hold you back, and don't let it make you feel bad. You know, you've done a lot of wonderful things, and we really appreciate you for all you're doing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ayo. Thank you so much. I'm going to send some of your videos to Mr. President and some of them on WhatsApp now, so that they can actually see what I'm saying. That this is not just an hoax, but this is actually the message. So, President, thank you so much for this beautiful opportunity. Wow.
Wow, it's been 2 powerful days.
Thank you. 2 powerful days.
It's unbelievable.
John Wesley says, in fact, thank you so much for this ability, for your kind words. You really say something that's even awesome. Mr. BC sent me some messages a few minutes ago, and I was like, wow. Everybody has been, wow, yes, guys, go on, go on, go on. And it has always been awesome. Thank you so much for that beautiful time.
You're welcome.
And thank you so much for listening to me in 2007 at Bank PHP. When I will come to your office, baptize you with what from 8:30 to 9:30, you just be smiling. I will baptize you, say everything you want.
Yeah, you know me now. I think I'm Baba JJ. I take things easy.
I will say everything you want, and you'll be like, wow. But we thank God. We thank God. We are moving greater and greater, and God is really, really helping. So I think maybe we need to stop the end of the video now so that we can do what we need to do to find a way to put it.
I've stopped broadcasting on Facebook anyway, so it shouldn't go into Facebook, but at least we don't want to spend too much time. So what I did today was, rather than save on my device, I saved into the cloud. So you'll be able to log into the cloud, get access to the video. So you'll have to log into zoom.com online and then get access to the video within the cloud.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
So take care.
That's better. So we'll work we'll make sure we'll find a way, we'll find a way to make the video available in 48 hours, to cut it, to make sure we send each speaker, because Susan actually sent a mail that can they get the video, so to make sure we cut those videos and find a way to promote it on all the social medias.
Yeah, absolutely.
The UN people, the UN sent a mail today that, wow, inspiring program. And the Finns, they're looking forward to a much more collaboration. And we're gonna set up more Zoom meeting with them on how we can actually do something for Africa. And I believe with restructure from Mr. Teni, we should be able to work something out and see what we can do better than we've been doing before. At least this is a defining moment. We know we've done something. It's obvious that DoTheDream has been working. It's obvious that DoTheDream is global now. It's obvious that DoTheDream can actually has the potential to actually make things work. It's obvious now, and we won't rest on that. We'll rest on what we can do better, what we can actually achieve more in order for us to actually get this thing done, so that the people who are going to be working more and more with it can actually have something substantial to actually run with. Because I believe with this kind of organization, the kind of works we've been doing, it's something that will actually outlive us. Why? Because of the template, the set, the kind of people who are actually seeing this potential now. And I believe with God on our side, definitely the sky will definitely be our starting point. So,
amen.
I want to thank you for everything, and awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll continue on the phone.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care now.
You're welcome.